That is right, ladies and gentlemen, it is showtime. Welcome to Cruise with Josh. Cruise Talk Live here, Wednesday night. How is everybody doing? Welcome to the show. I hope that you are well. You're joining myself, Josh, tonight for it might get a little heated, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. It might get a little fiery up in here. We've got a fiery show planned for you. Further cancellations today. Gosh, I feel like a radio stuck on repeat. We got further cancellations today in the way of Carnival, in the way of Royal Caribbean. They are lining up with Norwegian, and we've got all the news and breakdown for you and our thoughts and opinions on that. In addition to that, guys, it is with sad news that I say Group Cruise 3.5, Cruise with Josh, has also been canceled. We're going to go around the house and get everybody's thoughts and opinions on that. We have got news on Carnival Inspiration. We've got coming out of Ali Aga, Turkey. We've got the big explosion in Beirut, rocked Beirut yesterday. Unfortunately, a cruise ship did end up getting some damage to that. Well, extensive damage. We'll talk more on that in just a little bit. Cruise lines potentially resuming right before they get shut down again, and so much more. So I want to welcome you to tonight's show. If it is your first time here, please consider hitting that subscribe button right down below this video and share it with a friend that needs a good dose of cruising fun tonight. We're so happy to have all of you in the chat with us tonight. If it's your first time here, please drop first right in the chat section in big bold letters. That way we know that you're first and we can welcome you. Yes, except for Cody. Cody, you're not allowed to drop first in the chat. You can drop second in the chat though, okay? But speaking,
I like Tom's comment. He put Group Cruise 0.0.
Zero. That's right, because that's about where we're at right now. Speaking of the first person,
it's the same news. It's like a Groundhog's Day movie only on
in
cruise
reverse.
version.
Yeah. Speaking of being first, we do want to always acknowledge the first person in the chat. First person in the chat was Bus Driver 7332. Says, can't wait. Sad to see Inspiration wedged on the beach. And wedged is definitely a good word for you there, Bus Driver. She was wedged. We got more info on that coming up.
Drunk.
You said what now?
I think the captain was drunk.
No, I think that they're trying to get every bit of room that they can, because there's a lot of ships coming onto that beach.
The fantasy on over a little bit to give some room.
I don't think it matters. What does it matter? They're ripping the thing apart anyway.
I don't think it was that. I think it was they were going to scrap it, and they said, okay, Miguel, you've been cleaning rooms for 12 years. You want to drive? Go ahead. Take it for a spin. There's so much you can do. Park it in there.
Or as Jim said, they were playing bumper boats.
You know what? All of these stories are very, very true possibilities. You know, maybe they just wanted to have a little bit of fun as they took the Inspiration out of service. But Either way, we've got all the news on that coming up later in tonight's show, guys. So I want to come over and welcome everybody in the chat. If you are watching this on a replay, you're here for the news, you may want to fast forward maybe 5-10 minutes. We're going to interact with those on the live chat right now. But if you're watching this on a replay, drop a comment right down below. We'd still love to know where in the world are you watching? I know that we've got some Australian friends in here tonight. We've got some European friends in here tonight. We've also got some American, Canadian friends. So a big welcome wherever you are in the world. We're so happy to have you here on Cruise Talk Live. So happy that you chose this fun show for your Wednesday night entertainment. I want to come over and say a big hello and welcome to, on my screen, first person, is Honey Skiles. Honey, one of our very own moderators of the show. A big thank you to all of our moderators. We do this every single show. But thank you so much to all of our moderators. One of those moderators actually, believe it or not, guys, joining us on screen tonight. Anybody know who it is? Anybody want to take a guess on who that moderator? Oh, it's Peter! That's right.
He's here 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, I know, guys. Here 2 weeks in a row. Can you believe it? Big thank you to all of our moderators for always keeping that chat family friendly and safe so the kiddos can watch, and so can Grandma. We're so happy to have you in here with us, Grandma, as well. Thank you so much to Karen Duty just moments ago, our first super chat of the night. Guys, if you want to support the stream monetarily, you want to donate to the channel, that is the easiest way you can do that. You can do that super chat. You can do that via PayPal. We've got links for that, which the moderators are going to post in the description in the live chat right now. And I thank you so much for always supporting the stream, supporting the channel, keeping it going here. Let me read her comment if I can get to it. Let me see. The chat is jumping already. We got Karen Duty, a $20 super chat. She says, hi, want to say thanks all who sent me get well wishes since last week. Stitches out tomorrow. Love how everyone supports each other on your channel. Watching your vlogs again from beginning. Your dad is a comedian. Don't gas his head up too much there, Karen. Thank you so much for your $20 super chat.
That would be so cool, though. I mean, the lowest person per se on the ship. Guess what? You get to be captain today. Really?
I mean, if they're going to run the thing aground, I mean, why not let them have a turn at the wheel?
I mean, that'd be like putting your mom in a Ferrari they were going to trash, I mean,
yeah, 100% accurate there, Papa Hocum, 100%.
I wouldn't say Ferrari. I would take Tesla, okay?
Tesla? No, we can't put you anywhere near a Tesla. No.
Then ask for the parallel parking, okay? I mean, it's the same.
It'll park itself, okay? It's Tesla. It'll park itself.
I guess so. I also want to say a big welcome and hello to Amanda Graves. We've got Deborah Lusk also in the house. Chris Fordham. Chris Fordham says, I wish they would go ahead and make the call for the rest of the year. We have a 14-day planned in November, and I need to know so I can plan a vacation this year. Chris, we're going to talk about it all and more, and Fiery Peter is going to come out here in just a little bit, guys. So stay tuned.
And that is never more true. He's fiery today.
He's
okay?
fiery
really
tonight, guys.
Fiery.
If you were looking for some Fiery Peter, you have come to the right place. All right, stay tuned. Aspie Cruise News also here tonight. Gary Krebs also joining us. Gary, welcome to you, my friend. He says, I still have my 2 for next year, keeping my fingers crossed for November, ... Fat chance. Gary might have to agree with you there, buddy. I really thought that by now we'd be good to go, but alas, here we are. I will keep my fingers crossed for you, though, my friend. Christina V also joining us. There's Karen Duty again. We've got Becca Gross, Jeff Cruz Adore. Welcome to you, sir. Kevin Perez, Becca Gross, Kay Palmer, TSC. TSC says, I'm guessing Panorama plans have been forced canceled. You are guessing correct, TSC. Not the news that we wanted, but the news that we thought that was coming, if I'm being completely honest. There is Tom Pittock. Thomas, good to see you in here, my friend. He says, greetings, and yes, another disappointment. I know, buddy. I know. It is sad, but it is what it is. We've also got Greg Bryant here. Says, hey, Josh, just checking in. Next cruise, 2022. Greg, you've got some time, buddy. You've got some time. I think you might be all right there. I hope. Listen. Let me make something very clear. If we get to 2022, there may not be any more cruise with Josh, okay? If we get to 2022 and cruising still hasn't started back up, there may not be any more cruise with Josh.
It's just going to be travel with Josh.
Yeah, it might just be travel with Josh and look, we're not even going to think like that, okay? We can't think like that.
I mean, right now it looks like the best advice for cruising this year is the mountains are great. They have good colors in the fall. I mean,
perhaps a pool noodle in your local swimming pool. Close your eyes.
If it's open.
Close your eyes and splash the water, and there you go. You're sailing.
Or go to an all-inclusive like Nicole did in Mexico.
For sure. All right, it's my turn to butcher your last name. Welcome, Andrew Kabate. Welcome to you, sir. I look forward to butchering your last name every single week. Welcome to you. So glad you're here. Eventually, Andrew is going to copy a 3-paragraph noun, adjective, and way to say his name verb. And like when you look a word up in the dictionary and it has like all the noun. Here's how to use it in a sentence. That's what Andrew's going to post for me eventually on live chat here. But welcome to you, sir. We've also got Johnny Johnson. I like your last name, Johnny Johnson. We've also got Tracy D's joining us. Scott Weaver is here. Judy Mahan, welcome to you. Robin Page Purdue also joining us. Hello, love. I hope that you're well. Probably not amazing considering the news today, but hope that you're well nonetheless. Diane Hollingsworth also here with us. Charles St. John, Jennifer Blackburn. Man, so many wonderful friends joining us tonight. There's Traveling with Tracy also here. Welcome to you. Stereotypical Cruiser, Thomas Pittock, Dewan Hodges also here. Andrew Boxes. So many wonderful friends. There's Extra Magic. I think we know who Extra Magic is, don't we? Extra Magic is...
Have we heard of him?
I think we've heard of him. I think so. Extra Magic, guys. Check out what Extra Magic did this week. Went over to Disney. How about that? Look at that. Look at those photos. Man, Peter, where were these photos taken in Disney?
That was at Epcot at Golden Hour as the sun was setting over the World Showcase Lagoon.
Wow. Wow, absolutely stunning, absolutely breathtaking, guys. If you want to see more of Peter's travels, head on over to Instagram, Extra Magic Travel, all one word. And guys, Peter, believe it or not, he's coming back. He's joining us back on YouTube. Peter is going to be live streaming, folks. Peter, what are your 2 live streams of this week? Go ahead and give yourself a shameless promotion. Go for it.
Well, this weekend I will be at Epcot on Saturday at 1 p.m. live at Epcot at the Taste Festival. That's a miniature food and wine festival this year that they're doing. Okay. And then on Sunday I'll be at Animal Kingdom.
Animal Kingdom.
That's why I'm in Pandora setting right now.
Peter's at Pandora right now, guys. He's live on location in front of Pandora, just for us here on Cruise Talk Live. We absolutely love it, guys. So make sure that you do go over and check out those live streams, check out those Instagram posts, and show Peter some love, because he's definitely worth it. Peter's taken some amazing photography lately. Absolutely
well, the way this year's going, I think he opened her box up.
Huh?
The way this year's going, I think he opened up her box and he needs to close it.
Oh, Pandora's box. Pandora's.
I think he opened it. He needs to close the lid on that thing and put it back in there.
Because if you want to say the other news, we just came through Hurricane, whatever its name is.
Isaias. And let's all go around the room. So I say Isaias. Peter says
Isaias.
Isaias. Mama Hocum says
North Carolina, so we call it Isaiah.
It's Isaiah.
And Papa Hocum says
Isaiah.
How do you guys say it? Do you say it as Isaias or do you say it as Isaiah? What is the proper term for it? Let me know in the chat here. Yes, sir.
I just wanted to tell you a minute ago, you said that one girl's name, you said Mahan. It very well could be man with a silent H. Because we knew some people in West Virginia, and it's spelled Mahan, John Mahan, but it was John Mann. So it could be John. It could be Judy Mann instead of
All right,
Mahan.
well, Judy M. That's what we will call her. Judy M. Welcome to you, Judy.
But I have seen quite a few new people's names in here, and they're saying they're first in here
tonight.
Yes,
so a very big welcome to you if you're first time in here. We're so glad to have you here tonight.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump down to live chat right now. So if you're joining us in the chat, I'm going to jump down to live chat. And if you're joining us for the news, we're going to go ahead and jump into a little bit of that. So if you guys have any questions about that, Scott, don't read it.
Pronunciation. Yes. Just look at it.
Scott, accurate. Very, I love it. Very, very, very accurate. Love it, Scott. Kevin Perez says Isaiah. I like your pronunciation is. Stereotypical Crew says the way you say it, Josh. Thomas says it was no kind of storm. That was nothing. So let's go ahead and get a storm update from Florida. Peter, how was the storm in Florida? It was supposed to rock y'all. How was it?
Well, we got a little bit of wind, very, very small bit of wind, and it basically coasted right through us. On the right-hand side, we really didn't feel it here in Orlando. It was that day, it was actually a very nice breeze.
So it was basically a windy day, and that was that. That was
Josh,
that was
you
the
saw
gist
pictures
of it.
of Peter. He was sitting on the beach in a lounge chair going, "What? This is a Cat 1. This ain't nothing, man."
Yeah. Peter was flying his kite out on the beach, waiting for the light.
He's there with a drink in his hand. This is only a Cat 1, man.
That's what our friends were doing. I'm surprised he wasn't an Emerald Isle actually out there, filming it.
Yeah, no, we were not. We came back, and honestly, guys, I slept through the whole thing. But I do want to send out a quick heart of love to anybody that was affected by it. We do know that there were several counties here in North Carolina. Bertie County specifically got some extensive storm damage from tornadoes.
Tornado.
It was pretty bad. And I saw Gary's, what was your sister, Gary? I think is still without, sister without power since yesterday on Long Island.
My coworkers didn't have power, I don't think, till today.
Peter, it rocked your mom's house, didn't it?
My mom got power back the same day. I have a friend, though, that still has no power. She's in Brooklyn.
Wow. Yeah, so definitely heart goes out to anybody.
They got hammered,
Definitely heart goes out to anybody that, that has been affected by the storm for sure. Yeah, I see Robbie O'Malley, another one of our moderators. Thank you so much for being here, buddy. Says we got killed here. Funny story, guys. Robbie and I had a night's conversation last night, basically about what our predictions were for whether we thought the cruise lines were going to cancel. and then today they canceled. So it was we both were like kind of ended the conversation with like, yeah, they're probably going to cancel, but we don't really know for certain. And then they canceled today. So I was like,
let me just confirm this on here. Did I know it before you today? Because did I let you know about it?
No, I was in a meeting and got the Twitter notification, but when you started texting me, I was like, gosh, I better post something in the group where 1,000 people are going to be texting me. So I just quickly threw something up in the Facebook group to let everybody know that it was confirmed. There were some questions on whether they did jump. So, you know what, let's jump into the news. There was questions on whether or not Carnival canceled through October 31st or up to October 31st because of their wording of the document. I did want to confirm it is through October 31st. So
yes,
cruises are set right now to resume on September 31st. So let's go ahead and dive into this. You know, what is the, what's
You mean
what's
November?
Yes, November 1st, right. So let's dive into it. So we first got the news, 3 weeks ago from Princess Cruise Line. That they would be pausing global ship operations through December 15th of 2020, and there was like exception to that, I think, is Australia. Pretty much everyone else is excluded from that. Hey, I want to say thank you to Sherry. Sherry Dunsworth right now on screen, a $20 super chat. Thank you so much for that. She says, 4th cruise canceled. Not surprised. Going to do a land vacation for October instead. Thanks for keeping us informed of the latest cruise news. By the way, love your vlogs. Thank you so much, Sherry. I certainly do appreciate your love and support for your super chat here tonight on the channel. And I am so sorry. I know what it feels like. Peter and I know what it feels like to have 4 cruises canceled. It's awful. It's pretty awful. Okay, so
this was number 3 for us.
We empathize for you. It is definitely not the news that we wanted, but here we are nonetheless. Oh, and now just coming in as well, a $2 PayPal from Matthew Conklin. He says Mount Washington has 149 mile per hour wind gusts in the storm. Wow. Wow. That is insane. So I guess apparently it really got bad up there. I am so sorry for you. I hope that you guys have fared well throughout the storm. But thank you so much for your PayPal tonight on the live stream. So we got the news on Princess first. That was 3 weeks ago, like I said. Then fast forward to last week, we got the news from Norwegian. And they said that they would be pausing service through October 31st. And at that point, we got the rumor attached with Norwegian that CLIA, I believe I said this last week, but that CLIA, the Cruise Line International Association, basically the governing body of the cruise lines, all the major ones anyway, there was a rumor that they would be extending their pause in service to October 31st. And it was quite convenient that Norwegian also conveniently did this. You know, they extended pause in service, but nothing else was released last week. You know, Thursday, Friday, which we really thought we could have seen something because Norwegian released on Wednesday.
Yeah.
We really thought that we were going to see something. Came and went. Nothing, right? So it was kind of weird. Well, then Monday rolled around. If you're in marketing, Monday's another big day to release something. Monday came, went, nothing. And then this morning came, and what did we get this morning? Carnival Cruise Lines was first one out of the gate. Important information, update from Carnival Cruise Lines on service pause extensions. Carnival Cruise Lines extended their pause in operations to October 31st. And following right behind them, I think it was like it was minutes behind them, Royal Caribbean posted an operations update in which they also said they would be suspending cruise operations in the United States through October 31st. So there it is, guys. If you had a cruise booked anytime between today and October 31st on Carnival, on Norwegian, on Royal Caribbean, on Princess, and let me actually back up, on Carnival Corporation, on Royal Caribbean Group, and on Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings, out of the United States, it is canceled. It is done.
You're done.
Yeah. So what are your next steps? What is your homework to do? Very important. You should be receiving an email from the cruise lines. You'll need to follow the steps in that email to either plan or select your future cruise credit option or your what you paid refund. Let's go back to Carnival because I think Peter is about ready to say some words here. So let's go back.
He's going to be on fire.
Keep it family friendly, Peter.
Yeah.
Friendly now.
We're going to go back to Carnival. So let's talk about what Carnival's policy is because there's a lot of confusion across the cruise lines. So Carnival's policy is for the future cruise credit, you get 100%, not 125%, 100% future cruise credit. Has always been this way. You also, for cruises 5 nights or less, you will get $300 non-refundable onboard credit per cabin. Now, very important you pay attention to that non-refundable. That means that you have to use it over the duration of your cruise. Normal onboard credit, if you have like a, you put money in the casino or you put, cruise cash or whatever, at the end of your cruise, if it's more than $10, they'll refund it to your credit card, your debit card, or a cash refund, whichever payment method you set up with the cruise line. If it's less than $10, they usually donate it to charity. With this, if you get on board with $300 and at the end of your cruise you have $299, you don't get $299 back to your account. It's gone. You forfeit, right? For cruises 6 days or more for Carnival Cruise Lines, you get $600 onboard credit per cabin. So that's a really, really nice incentive. I do have to say that when we're looking at all of the cruise line incentives to rebook, Carnival's kind of stands out for me. I think it's very, very nice that they're doing that $600 onboard credit. Thank you so much to Diane Hollingsworth, a $5 super chat, and no comment here, no comment from Diane, but thank you so much for your love, for your support. So with this announcement, of course, you guys probably want to know what are we going to do, but before we get to that, all right, I'm letting the bull out of his cage. It's time for Fiery Peter. Fiery Peter, what is wrong with... Oh, look at that. What is wrong with their announcement today? Why is it bad? Why are you upset that the cruise lines announced today? You have to slide towards the guy a little. There you go.
Family friendly, Peter.
There's no coincidence that the cruises are canceled 90 days before the actual start of the cruise when the final payment is due 90 days before the cruise. Okay?
I completely agree.
What annoys me is if we would have called the cruise line to cancel ourselves, 6 days ago.
Or your travel agent.
Right, or your travel agent. 6 days ago, you can't do that because you would have incurred a fee, it's like you can't cancel your cruise. They said, no, you have to pay the final payment. We have to charge your card.
Yeah.
So we knew it was going to be canceled. And this is not me upset that the cruise is canceled. We knew it was canceled. It's the timing. It's the timing that was wrong because they said, no, the cruise is happening. We need your payment. And what do? I mean, you can't cancel it yourself or else,
The final payment was when, Peter?
The final payment was
Sunday.
Sunday.
That's even worse.
The final payment was Sunday, and they canceled on Wednesday. And our cruise was scheduled to sail October 31st. So, Sunday, August 2nd, if you're talking about a 90-day cruise window, would have been the last day to accept final payment for October cruises. All October cruises would be past final payment date at this point.
And which we all waited until Sunday.
Oh yeah, no, everybody in my group. I think we had 26 cabins. And out of those 26 cabins, everybody, I mean, well, maybe not everybody, maybe out of 26, probably 20, waited until last week. All week last week, I was doing final payments with people. And I kind of told them, the ones that I talked on the phone with, I told them, I was like, I hate this because more than likely they're going to cancel next week. But if you don't pay your final payment now, you're going to lose everything, or you're going to lose your deposit, which usually was at least $250, if not $500.
Right.
So at that point, that's a third of some people's cruise fare,
Right. And if you notice, they give you just enough time for the payment to process on the credit card, maybe 2 to 3 days for it to go through. It charges your card. They say, okay, we have your money, so that you can't even call the bank and dispute the charge because it's posted now. It's not like it's, sitting there in a pending. Because if we had charged it on Sunday and they canceled it on Monday, I would have called the bank and said, stop this payment to this cruise line. Like, no, like you just cancel, you know what I mean? But they gave it just enough time to post the payment. And they're doing this in the middle of a pandemic when people don't have money to begin with because they don't have jobs. And the thing is, between the date that we paid them and the date that was canceled, that was 3 days. Now, how long is it going to be to get a refund? Not 3 days. Not 3 days.
Oh, no.
It's going to be months. It's going to be months now. Now that we paid
People
them,
still haven't gotten their refund from March. Okay?
Yeah. That's wrong. That's wrong because... And if someone put this on a credit card, they're now getting charged interest for this payment. Yeah. Like it's wrong. It's completely wrong.
Yeah. I completely agree. I'd love to hear Mama and Papa's opinions as well. What do you guys think? I mean, do you think it was right? Do you think it was wrong? Do you think the cruise line had a choice?
I think it was totally wrong.
Do you?
I mean, I told you on Sunday when you took my money. I was like, I really, this sucks because I just can see them, this week sometime, come out and saying, oh, by the way, we're pausing through November 1st.
Yeah.
And, thanks for the money. But, I also look at this from a business perspective, and this kind of sends me a warning flag, which I talked to Peter about as well. But, this tells me, not just Carnival, but obviously Royal, and basically the cruise lines in general, right now they're strapped for cash.
Yeah,
they're
sure.
teetering. They're sending up red flags.
Right.
They haven't had any kind of income or revenue now for months other than people trying to book cruises. So, they're like, we have to get your final payment. And then, oh, by the way, I'm sorry, you can rebook later.
Yeah. For sure. Papa Hocum, what do you think?
I agree with her. I think it was a dirty trick. I don't think the people that were taking the payments had anything to do with it. I think it's higher up executives.
Yeah, nothing against you, Josh.
No, this is definitely a corporate decision.
Not against you, not against the people at Carnival who Peter was talking to.
Right.
Sure.
I think it was a dirty trick. Playing devil's advocate, like Mama Hocum said, they are so strapped for cash that I think that the higher ones knew it, but said, hey, we need to get some money somehow, so we'll do this, and hopefully
that'll keep us afloat for a little bit.
Afloat for at least another month or two.
Plus they sold 2 ships, at least 2 Carnival ships.
I think they're in such bad trouble. I highly expect John Hale to be coming out in a McDonald's outfit here real soon, saying, give an announcement, asking for more fries. I mean,
for sure.
Peter actually sold his stock, didn't you, Peter?
I did. Today I sold all, and not just Carnival. I sold my Norwegian stock. I sold my Carnival stock because I just think it's just a very dirty thing. And someone said in the chat, it's an interest-free loan that they're getting on our money. They're using our money, like we're loaning them money interest-free, and they're going to get it back to us whenever.
And of course, they're saying, oh, but we're giving you $600 in onboard credit. That's our interest back to you.
Yeah.
But if you take that.
And that is providing they ever do sail and cruise again.
Exactly.
I mean,
so let's break into that a little bit really quick. Before we do though, guys, do me a quick favor. Share this video. Takes 2 seconds. Share this video out with somebody. And guys, we have got 250 people in this live and about 20 likes on the video. So make sure you hit that thumbs up button as well. Yeah. Show the stream some love if you're having a good time with us tonight, if you're intrigued with the discussion, and I would so much appreciate it. But let's talk about, are the cruise lines at risk of going under at this point? Because like Peter and Mama Hocum and Papa Hocum have said, it appears as they're basically using the money that we just paid the cruise for, paid our cruise off, to then refund folks back in June and July, and you know what I mean?
March.
So
and is it also going to the salaries of the big executives?
Right.
Are they still sitting there cashing in on their 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever figure salaries?
Because think about this: if Carnival has 26 ships in the fleet, okay, they did. But you think about if all those ships were sailing you've got all the revenue from those passengers booked. Then
Yep.
they're on board. They're buying their liquor. They're buying their photographs. They're buying, they're playing in the casino.
jewelry,
They're buying,
their-
the jewelry. All this stuff. All
Right.
this revenue is coming in. Has not come in now since March.
5
So
months.
all this money is gone.
Right. And
Excursions,
on board,
they're just
we have heard
hemorrhaging.
We have heard from numerous sources. I mean, when you do interviews on the ship and things like that, but a big revenue portion of the overall budget of each cruise line is onboard spending, onboard accounts. Cruise lines bank on you buying that expensive island drink. Cruise
After all
lines
these
bank
speakers, we can
on
testify to
you
that.
spending money in the casino. Cruise lines bank on you buying the merchandise in the gift shops and the candy shops and the sweet shops and things like that. Cruise lines
$100
bank
for
on,
photos.
if you notice, that's why Norwegian Cruise Line, they push upscale restaurants so hard. Like, I'll be honest, I had to research whether Norwegian Cruise Line had a main dining room because they push upscale restaurants so hard. I had to research whether they had a main dining room. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
and
they get on the
that's not a
breakaway.
bad thing. That's their business model, and that's what works. And the cruise lines know that. They, as a group, they know that that's what works. That is where they are guaranteed a lot of onboard money. That's why Disney Cruise Line is so much more expensive. One of the reasons. I mean, yes, you're paying for the mouse, but there's no casino. There's not that onboard spending ability in the casino on those ships.
Yeah.
And so the cruise line knows we've got to raise our minimum dollar amount because we're not going to get it from the casino. Well, they've now not had that for 5 months now,
Right.
So
There's a question, Josh. Somebody's been asking, and I don't know, and Peter might know this, but what about Disney Cruise Line? When have they projected to resume, or have you heard?
I don't think we have a update right now from them.
With Clea canceling.
Well, yeah, no, with Clea, it would
But I
have
mean,
to be October
has Disney
31st.
projected
They
anything?
haven't said anything, but
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
haven't released.
They're a part of Clea. They're Disney Cruise Line is a part of Clea. So
Right, so if Clea is suspended to October 31st, then Disney Cruise
Well, I know,
Line
but
is...
I mean, I didn't know if they had, Carnival
No,
had been
they
saying,
have-
we're resuming and all this. Has
They have
Disney
not-
said anything?
not to my knowledge. I haven't seen any. I checked their social feed about 6 o'clock, and I had not seen anything published to their social feed. I also checked my travel agent feed, and I had not seen anything published there. That's not to say they're not coming out with the information tomorrow or Friday, because the Clea announcement also happened today. So it was a rumor up until today. So Royal Caribbean and Carnival announced in line with Clea. So, Disney may be waiting a day or two until they release their, maybe they wanted to make sure that Clea was going to do it or something. I don't know. But
wasn't there a meeting last week with the CDC and things with the cruise lines? And isn't that where a lot of this stemmed from?
Yes, it was. But like I said, we haven't heard anything from Disney. I'm sure we'll hear something in the next couple of days from them.
Right, but I mean, in regards to Carnival, I mean, like they could have announced this last week if they had that meeting with the CDC and they were told last week. You can't sell out until November 1st.
I think they could have announced it last week. They may not have been. Hold on, Dad. They may not have been able to announce it on Wednesday. Because with something like this, as a travel agent, I can tell you, do not call Carnival right now. Do not call Royal Caribbean right now. If you are one of my clients and you need me to call Carnival right now, I'm going to ask you if it is like death. Like if it is urgent, because I kid you not, probably more than likely what's going to happen is the call is going to drop. And I'm not even going to get through to them, and then I'm just going to have to report back with bad news, right? It is a nightmare for their call centers right now. And I know that the cruise lines, Carnival, Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, they've all been working to, make those better, to try and get people working from home more so that they can have more agents and things like that. But it is tough right now for the call centers. So it may be that they were looking to get the website in order and get the call centers in order. I don't think they needed to wait until today to do that, though. I want to say thank you to Cruising Corbin for a $20 super chat. Thank you so much for that. It says April 2021 50th birthday cruise. I'm booked, but I'm getting nervous now. I don't think you should be nervous about April 2021 yet, buddy. I think you probably got some time for April 2021. But let me share this piece of info with you. When we talk about the higher ups still accepting their salaries and things like that, and then I want to jump over to the chat and see what you guys are saying. So go ahead and drop in your thoughts in the chat, and we'll jump over and read a couple of those here in just a second. When you talk about the execs lining their pockets, another sad and unfortunate story that broke this week is coming from Bahamas Paradise Cruise Line. We're familiar with that cruise line that sails out of West Palm Beach. Bahamas Paradise Cruise Line, it has been reported that their crew has been working without pay. Have been forced to work without pay. Borderline slavery. I can't believe I'm using these terms, but borderline slavery.
That's what it is.
For weeks now. For weeks. They were told that they were going to get a $1,000 bonus per person paid to them by July the 25th. Well, July the 25th came, July the 25th went, and there was no $1,000 payments to the crew. A letter was written from their hotel director, which basically stated that, he used the terminology stealing from the hand that feeds you, because several of the crew members reached out to different news agency and social media platforms and personnel and things like that. And they got backlash for that, saying that they should not have said such things like that. So very sad for the crew currently on board the Bahamas Paradise Cruise Line, apparently working without pay, even crew that have been since repatriated. And they have said that the company does not have the funds to get charter flights for them home. So if the company does not even have the funds for a charter flight for their crew members home, how in the world do they have money for refunds? If they don't have money to pay the crew, how do they have money for refunds?
Because they're using our money. They're using our money.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is why Peter is on fire.
Well, today, Josh, today, I think it was your mom told me today that she heard that Cozumel has said no more cruise ships coming in until after the first of the year. Now, with Carnival, that is one of the main ports for the Western Caribbean.
Well, and I wasn't going to drop that bombshell tonight, but Papa Hocum dropped the bombshell tonight. That is right, guys. Cozumel has apparently listed a formal declaration that they do not plan to accept cruise ships to return to their port until January of 2021. So, that's all right. With that, does that mean that the cruise lines have told them that, or is this Cozumel telling them that?
But I mean, even if they got back to cruising, that would cut out the Western itinerary or one of the main ports.
The biggest port. The busiest port.
Yeah,
and
the busiest.
So if Cozumel's doing it, Mexico is Honduras and
Belize and Costa Maya and Jamaica, Grand Cayman.
They're going to follow suit, and it's going to cancel all of them.
Right.
So yeah, is Puerto Rico the same?
I think so. Which is very unsettling to say the least. Does this mean that cruising is done until January? I think so. I mean, you're hearing it now. I think so. I think the cruise lines are taking it a month by a time because, Peter, why are they taking it a month at a time?
Because so that they can have your money. That's the thing, is every month. So, and unfortunately, I feel bad for people that have cruises in November.
Yep.
Because a month from now,
Fiery Peter's coming back.
It's going to happen again now until November 31st. So, and it's unfortunate because the people that are in November, they don't have a choice, just like we didn't have a choice, where if you cancel, you lose your money. If you wait, you got to pay your payment and then get canceled anyway. So,
sure.
Yeah. And Josh, one other thing I was going to say, and I agree with you, it's horrible
Like the crew members, yeah. 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 For sure. Yeah, yeah. He's probably, no, don't hold it up to your mouth. Don't hold it up to your mouth. You have to just, oh, okay. Yeah, that's probably better. Yeah. I like this comment here from Audra Brooks says, that was dirty what they've done to cancellation. But they have been doing that for every cancellation. So that's very true and very important to remember. We're upset because this was our cruise, but this has been the policy for the last 5 months. We
went through it twice with the Seaside, but still.
Right, and the big question pops, well, why did Princess cancel through December 15th, but Norwegian, Carnival, and Royal Caribbean did not? Why did they cancel so late? And the obvious answer to me was Princess caters more to the wiser adult. We'll use that term. They cater more to the wiser, to the elderly adult, and they are the most at-risk population. So maybe they said, you know what? We're just going to go ahead and cancel. Or maybe they're just being the most responsible. Is that the word that I want to use? The most... I
feel like they're being the most prudent right now.
Practical. That's a word.
Yeah.
Here. Practical. They're being the most practical.
Like you said, they cater to the more older population.
Right.
Which is more at risk. And I agree with that, and I'll throw something else out there. I had seen someone commented, not on the live tonight, but earlier today they had talked about, to be sure, Josh, I guess because they hadn't seen you talk about this before, but on your Myrtle Beach vlogs, they were saying they seen you a lot without your mask, and they were concerned about you possibly bringing something to me and Papa. But no. I want to say on behalf of you that I know you always take your mask off to film, to talk. Yeah. Because we've seen on TV, you see the correspondents on TV and you see them trying to talk through a mask and it's, we're talking to, they're very muffled.
And let me preface that when I do that, I make sure that, I'm being socially responsible too. But yeah, there is no personality like this. Your mouth, this area of your face is where we get 80% of our expression, I would say. I mean, yes. Can you? What can you do? Can you raise your eyes? But, but if you can't see any of this, can you tell what I'm doing right now? Can you tell what face I'm making? No, you can't. And so it's more personable that way. And that's just what I've been recommended when I was talking with other creators, content creators, on what should we do here, because we obviously still want to make great content that's enjoyable to watch here on YouTube, but also be socially responsible. And so that is kind of the plan that we all came up with was, all right, we're gonna, when you film, you're gonna take the mask off. When you can. Now, if you're around a lot of people and you can't do it, you can't do it. That's just that.
You did in Wonderworks, you left them on.
You got to be socially responsible first and make good entertainment second. But yes, no, a lot of times when we were filming, the mask was off. But as soon as I got done filming, the mask either went right back on or we were outside away from people, in which case the CDC has said you don't need to wear a mask, So,
and that's what Papa Hocum and I, like last week we were on vacation, in a lot of places, we wore a mask. Like if we was walking in downtown Gatlinburg, Gatlinburg is pretty busy. Down there, a lot of people walking around, even though you're outside, we still wore a mask outside. Sure. But like when we went hiking in the woods, the masks were off because, we're socially distancing in nature. Yes. Okay. But in Dollywood and most of the other places when we were outside, yeah, we got to do it.
You got to do it. All right, we're moving on from this mask talk. I'm tired of talking about masks. But one more thing I will say about masks: if you don't have a mask and you want a Cruise with Josh official mask, I do have those over on the Teespring site. The Wow Wake official masks. You guys asked for them. I got them for you. Head over to the link in the description. It's like teespring.com/Cruise with Josh, I think. Head over and get yours now. Well, maybe after this live stream. Go ahead, Papa Hocum. What you got for us?
I was just going to say.
Lower than minimum wage.
Lower than minimum and working themselves to death. That's the people.
In the island.
Yeah, in the island and all the people on the ship and the service people and all that.
Right.
Sure. So you were just saying that your heart really goes out to them.
Yeah, for them as well as for us who are wanting to cruise. I mean, we're wanting to cruise and go on vacation, but at the same time, I'm thinking of all the people who are working and we're supposed to be working and making money, and now they're not, and that is their livelihood. Because this is not like their secondary job. This is their primary income.
You don't have to do that, Mom.
To.
You don't have to do that. I had his channel muted. It's a scene just for him, and I had his channel muted. So I unmuted it. He should be good now. Yeah.
I'm sitting here like, still can't hear what's going on.
No, we're good. We're good.
I was just like.
Yeah, no, we're good. I want to say thank you to Brad Jackson for a $5 super chat. He says, I hate to miss most of tonight, but we are doing back to school. Get ready for this, guys. Hot fudge brownies. OMG. He says, everyone have a great night. Thank you so much for that PayPal there, Brad Jackson. I certainly do appreciate it, buddy. And, man, send a brownie my way, huh? Oh, I think we also had another, do we have another super chat, or is my YouTube just catching up? No, we did. Wild About My Life says, I think a lot of these ports are doing this because of the crew members that have had a positive COVID test on 2 of the current running cruise ships. Yeah, no, so that's what we're getting to in just a minute. So 2 cruise ships are out, and they both got COVID, and it's not good. We're going to talk about it in a minute. Let's wrap up here. Peter, have you got any more fiery for us? I saw earlier you said you had more fiery, or have you got your fiery out?
I took the fire out just because, I kind of, and I'm seeing in the chat that, that we're looking for, some like positive news. So
yes. So
which there's not a lot of it right now, unfortunately.
Yes. Well, no, we're gonna finish out with some positive news. We're finishing out with some positive. It's actually some really good positive news. I know, guys, this time can be stressful and tough, but look, what I've told you before, I'll say it again. Yes, we cannot go on a cruise right now, and that sucks. I know it does. I am the first one to tell you that it sucks. Okay. You cannot go on a cruise right now. Hold on. You cannot go on a cruise right now, but that is not saying that you cannot still live life. You cannot still have fun, and you can still have good, fun, joyous moments in life. So I would challenge you, plan a land vacation. A better opportunity to, force you into that. Maybe you wouldn't have done it because you like cruising so much. You love getting out there on the ships. You love the crew. You love the food. You love the shows. Whatever it may be. You love the ports, right? You won't go on a land vacation because cruising is just what you need, right? But now you are forced to go on a land vacation. I would challenge you. Do something fun. Do something different. Just like we did in Myrtle Beach. I never thought I could have so much fun 4 hours away from home. But man, it was a blast. And I'm so glad that we did it. So definitely I would suggest and recommend that you take this time and do a land vacation. Or like Mama and Papa Hocum did and went to...
And spent some time in a cabin.
Right, when you went and rented a cabin.
With each other without doing a whole lot of anything. And it was a blast.
And I know you didn't want me to say anything, but I'm going to say something real quick. So one of the things that Papa Hocum and I really enjoyed last week.
Oh no, we're not going to talk about this. Nope, we're not going to talk about this. I'll say it. They went fishing, they caught trout, and they cooked their own trout. It was fantastic. All right, we're moving on from the fish story. Mama Hocum is obsessed. I put her on mute for a second, guys. Mama Hocum is obsessed with this trout fishing farm. I have no idea why, but she tells everybody that she interacts with now. They just went and caught a fish, okay? That's what it was. All right, we got a lot more to get to tonight's show. In other news, we do have, all right, let me see how bad I can butcher this. Hurtigruten. Hurtigruten. I think I'm saying that right. So we had a cruise ship resume. You may have seen this one. Hurtigruten resumed. And then they got COVID. I will read the story for you. You may have heard of this one. You may have never heard of this one. After several crew members were admitted to the hospital due to symptoms from what the line says was, quote, quote, a separate illness, 4 of the ship's 158 crew members tested positive for the virus, which has created so many problems for the world at large and the cruise industry in particular. This is from Cruise Radio, our friends over at Cruise Radio. They go on to say that, unfortunately, the outbreak was discovered after 2 sailings already had taken place, meaning that all the guests had disembarked and returned to their homes. As a result, Hurtigruten has reached out to the nearly 400 passengers who sailed on the July 17th and July 24th sailings. All the guests in question will be required to self-quarantine in accordance with Norwegian health regulations. The company said it will assist passengers with transportation, accommodations, food, and other needs they may have. So very nice of them, very generous of them. They operate 9 ships that provide year-round sailings. They do like Northern Europe expeditions. Kind of think of it like going up to like Greenland, Iceland, that kind of thing. What is everybody laughing at? What is so funny, huh? What is funny, Mama Hocum? What? How have you taken over the stream this time? What is it?
Keep talking. Just keep talking.
Mama Hocum, how have you taken over the stream, baby? Please share. Because
I have not taken over the stream.
Okay, well, what is going on then? What's going on? What's so funny?
I told him where to go find the fish.
You told him in the chat? That's fantastic. All right, so there's where you go find the fish, guys. There's your shameless plug from...
And there's a photo of me with the fish, too, that you have but won't share.
Okay, all right. There's a photo of Mama Hocum with the fish.
Peter's dying over there.
That she would love for you all to see. But no, Peter is grossed out by the fish, and so am I, and that's why we're not going to talk about the story, okay? Anyway, moving on from the fish. Goodness gracious.
She just wanted to say that it was a wonderful time that we enjoyed. That's it. That's the end of the story. Moving on. Moving on.
I told Ernie I'd give him a shout out.
Ernie, there is your shout out. From
all right.
And if anybody goes to Ernie, I told him to say that Hocum sent you.
All right, moving on.
Okay, anyway, as we were saying, so this ship now shut down again, right? That was the bad news. Seems like they didn't have a whole lot of health protocols in place. They didn't have, I mean, they had them in place, but it obviously wasn't good. It wasn't what we needed. However, MSC. Good old MSC. MSC this week, instead of releasing cancellations, which I think they may have, but that wasn't their pertinent information, MSC has released a plan, an extensive plan for reopening and reoperating. We get some really good insight, a lot of questions that we have had about what things are going to look like. Answered. And I'm very happy to share this news with you. So once again, coming out of our friends from Cruise Radio, I love them. Great source of cruise news. If you guys are looking for that kind of blog post style information, this is not sponsored by them. They didn't ask me to say this. I just love to tell you guys when I find good stuff like this. So definitely head over and check out. They've always got good, reliable information over there at Cruise Radio. Doug Parker does a great, fantastic job there. So Norwegian, they have what they've broken out into basically some guidelines. Here's what we can expect, some steps, some recommendations, and then some requirements. Requirements, a 3-step embarkation process, which will include a temperature check, a health questionnaire, and a rapid swab test. Now, Mama Hocum, do we have the rapid swab test here in the U.S. as of yet?
I think so.
I think we do. I figured you as a nurse would know.
I mean, I want to say it's like a 48-hour turnaround.
Well, it's taken.
I don't think we have like the instant.
No, it's taken 3 to 4 days. They're still in the developmental stages of the one like the alcohol breathalyzer.
Well,
they're doing
there's a rapid
trials of
swab that they can do now.
They're doing trials of that one, but it hasn't come out yet. The fastest I've heard is 4 days.
Because you all are testing there.
We have tested all of our clients, and they have came back. The test came back in 10 days.
Cody says yes, 24 hours. So we do have it here in the U.S. Yes, 24 hours. So this rapid test, I imagine, is going to be even quicker than that because they're requiring it to be done at embarkation, right? And let me preface this with, don't get too excited, all my North American folks. This is for Europe right now. But as we can expect, what happens in Europe will eventually trickle over here, right? So this is good news for us still. It says guests coming from high-risk areas will have to take a second molecular RT-PCR test. All crew members will also be tested during the onboarding process. So basically, if you're coming from a high-risk area, and by the way, if you live in the U.S., no, you cannot book your flight to Europe and go get on board a MSC cruise. U.S. passengers are banned at this time from sailing on these voyages.
They're banned from flying to Europe.
Yeah, we're banned from flying in general to Europe, but you're also banned. Should you sail your canoe over to Europe and then expect to hop on board the MSC Bellissima or something? Sorry to disappoint. You're not going to be able to do that, folks. Yeah. So if you are coming from a high-risk area, though, that is still allowing flights into Europe, you're going to have a second test done. Just to make sure that you're COVID negative there. And then all crew members also going to be tested. That we absolutely figured it, and we figured that was probably the case. It says, to facilitate social distancing, a limited number of guests will be allowed in each venue. Masks will be provided by the cruise line to be worn in situations where social distancing is not possible. And MSC went on to say that they are going to provide each guest with 1 mask per day, and that will be put in your stateroom each morning. So I guess with the turn-up service for the bed, they will then place a mask for each passenger in your room. So I like that. That's very nice.
That's instead of your towel animal. You get a mask.
Yeah, instead of your towel animal, folks, now
you get a towel animal with a mask.
Yeah, you get a towel animal with a mask on. I honestly won't even be shocked when that happens. You walk in and your elephant is now wearing a surgical face mask. So there we go. Don't be shocked you heard it here first.
I'll just say this. When we was in Cherokee last week, the Cherokee Indian Reservation, and remember down there at the reservation, they have a very tall wooden totem pole of an Indian. Mm-hmm. It had on literally a mask that was taller than either of us.
Oh my goodness. How ridiculous. They go on to say guests who feel ill can receive free treatment and testing in the onboard medical facilities. There will also be dedicated isolation rooms should the need to quarantine guests arrive. And MSC went on to say that they are going to have they plan to max the ship out at 70% capacity and have a minimum of 250 cabins available for guest quarantine. 250 cabins. That's a lot of cabins, I think. What do you think? I mean, Mama Hocum, does that sound like a lot of cabins to you? That sounds like a lot of cabins to me.
I mean, it depends on, because I know MSC ships are fairly large. So to me, I don't know that sounds like a lot of cabins.
Still, I feel like that's probably one floor, right? Like, doesn't that sound, Peter, what do you think? That sounds like about one floor?
But Josh,
I don't think that's 50% capacity even.
But Josh, you got to also
no, it's not. They said they did 70%.
You also have to think, Josh, that they're going to have to do some major upgrades on their filtration and ventilation system because, the ship
and they're already doing that. Yep.
All through.
Mm-hmm. And they're already supposedly doing that and working on things to combat that. It goes on to say that temperature checks will be done on a daily basis at stations around the ship as well as when returning from a shore excursion. So you got to get your temperature done all the time, all right? Now, speaking of shore excursion, this one is the one that was the most shocking to me, but the one that we figured would be the case. Shore excursions. You have to book with the cruise line. You must book with MSC. No independent shore excursions. If you want to get off the ship, you've got to book an MSC shore excursion. But for the first time, I think ever, shore excursions are going to be included with experiences on MSC. So Bella Experience gets one shore excursion included, and the way that they worded it, it seems like you have a list to pick from, and then you can pay to upgrade if you want to do like a different, so they'll offer like 5 shore excursions for the Bella, and then if you want to do a different one, You pay to upgrade to that one. Yeah, you'll pay extra. Bella gets 1, Fantastica gets 2, Aria gets 3, and Yacht Club gets all shore excursions included. So that was pretty interesting to me. What do we think about that, gang?
You can't get off the boat unless you have a shore excursion.
Correct. You cannot get off the ship unless you have
You can't just get off and go shopping.
Correct. They have said that you cannot just get off and go shopping. You cannot just walk off the gangway. You must have a shore. Yeah, I thought it was very interesting. Very, very interesting.
But what if you tell them you're getting off, go shopping for a mask?
They're going to say, oh, we provide you one in your stateroom, sir. Please head back there and get it now.
What happens, did they say what happens, like, on the Lido deck? Like, when you're, out in the sun?
So it says that you must wear a mask when you cannot properly social distance. And
so there's your tan lines.
Yeah. Passengers will also notice some changes to everyday life on the ship. For example, onboard activities and entertainment offerings have been redesigned to accommodate smaller groups. So basically, they're telling you to book in advance, right? You can do that on the app. You can do that on the televisions that they post all around the ship, on the newer ships. But you'll definitely have to probably pre-book. We figured that would be the case. Likewise, youth programs will operate at a reduced capacity and should be reserved in advance. And I believe the article that I read said that there would be a max of 10 children in the youth club. And so once that was reached, then there would be a wait list or what have you. Restaurants, bars, and lounges will be reconfigured to allow for more social distancing. And as for the buffet, MSC says it will offer, quote, a new service concept and a new guest flow. As with other lines, this simply means that crew members will plate the food as opposed to allowing guests to serve themselves. Also, in the dining room, we can expect to see QR codes on the table, which we've seen at a lot of restaurants recently. If you've been out and about, you've probably seen this. Peter says that this is all around Disney.
Yes, and
Peter
I don't like it.
Angry Peter's getting ready to come back because he does not like it.
Hey, Peter, I wonder if the buffets are going to go back like old school at Grandma's house. They bring a plate of food out and say, lay it down and say, here it is, take it or leave it.
I mean, they might just start, having plates filled with food and just handing here.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like Grandma's house. Have it. Shut up and eat it,
In the way of the dining room, you will have to wear a mask to the dining room. But once you are seated at your table ready to eat, you may take it off. So that is basically some of the information that we got from MSC. I think it's really good information. I think this is one of the more solid plans that we've seen. Norwegian has done something kind of similar, but this is one of the more solid plans that really gave some answers to those dire questions that we all had in the way of the buffet, in the way of shore excursions, getting on and off the ship, things like that. So let me know your guys' thoughts here in the chat. We do have several super chats and a PayPal to get to. I think I already got Zach Krantz, but just in case that I did, I want to throw him back up here on the screen. Thank you so much, Zach, for your $5 super chat. Was it a super chat or a super sticker, y'all? I don't see a comment. So it was way back there. I'm sorry, Zach. We've been running our mouth here for just it's just a super chat. No comment there. So Zach, thank you so much for your super chat. We also had a $50 PayPal. All right, $50 PayPal from Gary Krebs. He says, now that you're going to be around for a Halloween show. Oh no. He said, I sent you money last year for a new costume. Here is a little more to ensure you do. Gary, I will make sure that I get a new costume for you, buddy.
He's going to be
not Magic Mike.
Huh?
Not going to be Magic Mike.
But you're going to be Baywatch.
I don't know about that one either. That's a lot of skin showing and a lot of jiggle.
You just easiest costume ever, Josh. You're shirtless, holding your guard tube. Okay.
I know.
I mean, he already has the outfit for that. He has the red shorts and the.
Might strip the paint off the walls, though. We can't do that. Karen Judy also with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much, love. She says the cruise ship I was on in January, called Explorer Dream, is also currently sailing after being given the all clear. Definitely the cleanest ship I have been on in New Zealand. Currently no COVID there yet. Fantastic to hear that, guys. I told you we were coming out of here with good news. So happy to hear that, at least in some parts of the world, things are returning. The cruises are returning. That gives us hope over here in the U.S. that things are going to be
I
back.
love
They're going to be back.
C's comment. She put on here initially, she said, so if you book, and mind you, this is a autocorrect. She said, if you book an exorcism, can you go shopping or is that a no-no? And then she again typed exorcism, LOL, oops, and then she said excursion.
Okay, all right. Excursion. Jane, we don't have any info on that. We honestly don't know. They have not told us whether you're going to be able to do that. I don't think they have figured that part out yet, really. They just got it to where the policy is in place. If you want to get off the ship, you have to book a shore excursion. Whether they allow you to shop in port or not remains to be seen, but from my understanding, you must book a shore excursion to get off the ship. Now, speaking of ships resuming, with ships resuming, we also have to come back and say a very sad farewell to one more ship. And that is, of course, the Carnival Inspiration. This first photo here, though, you're seeing is of Sovereign, believe it or not, just beached last week, missing the front of her bow already. But the Inspiration today, they tried to drive her right up in between Sovereign and Carnival Fantasy and ended up having a pretty nasty collision. This photo here you're seeing is the bridge wing actually collided with one of the sides. I think that's the Fantasy side. Collided right with it. Crazy. There's the lifeboat collided with it.
This is the one I was talking about. This is the one I was talking about that you showed us about the lowest
cabin steward.
The lowest cabin steward get to be captain.
Correct.
For a day,
here actually is the video, a time lapse, believe it or not, guys, of the Inspiration's final moments into Aliaga, Turkey. Here she is turning right now into the port. Right there in the distance, you're going to see Monarch all the way to the right, Sovereign. Then we have the Carnival Fantasy, and they're going to put this ship right in between Fantasy and Sovereign. Look at how tight that is. Here we go. We're coming in right now. And crash, bang, boom. Yep, there it was. So there is... Yes, so these ships are unfortunately being scrapped. They are no more... I know it's sad. Here is a photo after they got the ship beached, Inspiration. So over here you have Monarch, and then on the other side is Fantasy, and you can see it's literally touching on either side. There's all four ships together, so from left to right, Monarch, Sovereign, Inspiration, and Fantasy. So sad to see, but so thanks to Instagram for these photos.
If they're getting scrapped, then it doesn't really matter if they scrape up against each other, right?
Right, and I think that's why they didn't really care that much, because they're getting ripped apart anyway. What does it matter, you know? Yeah. So it's quite possible that, just like Papa Hocum said, they let the most inexperienced person on the ship drive in. Hey, you could tell me that, and I'd believe it based off of this beaching.
Josh, you could have drove it for all we know, you know?
I mean, if they crash it, oh well, you know?
Yeah. Todd B says Demolition Derby.
Last year when, what ship was it that, the two Carnival ships that collided in Mexico? This makes that look like, cake.
Yeah, no, really. This was pretty bad. It's pretty bad for sure. But she is up there, so now they will begin the process of unfortunately dismantling Inspiration along with Fantasy. Still no word on Fascination and Imagination. Still no word on them. They're in cold layup, and all cruises have been canceled through 2022 for both ships. And it was reported last week that Carnival sold 2 more ships. So I'm not saying that they sold the Fascination and the Imagination, but
again,
that's pretty interesting.
Reason for me to think that they are strapped for money.
Yeah, I agree completely. Robbie says they already stole Sovereign's nose. Yeah, I know. We saw that moments ago. Sovereign, here, let me see if I can get back to it. It's so sad. So sad that, Sovereign is already, it's this first photo right here.
Jeff Prisador says they're hugging each other crying.
Well, and not only that, if you'll see, they've welded or cut 2 giant holes in the front of Sovereign there.
Yeah.
I guess to get inside and to cut and weld and things like that. But just so sad to see this happening to these ships. Definitely favorites. Have you sailed on the Inspiration or the Fantasy? Let us know over here in the chat section. If you have any last minute questions, feel free to drop those now. Any last minute super chats or PayPals, you can go ahead and drop those right now. And we're gonna get ready and get out of here in just a few minutes.
TSC said Imagination should become either a museum ship or a floating hotel, maybe like the Queen Mary too.
It could happen. I think that could be cool.
What I had wished, how like in Ozark, because I know Josh watches this show. They have like the floating ship that's actually the casino.
That's the casino.
Like,
that would be cool.
That would be awesome. Like if we just parked it somewhere and let it stay there, and then it's just like floating.
That would be pretty. I think it would take a pretty heavy crane to lift that thing into the Ozarks, Peter. So don't get your hopes up for that one. But
I feel like, I mean.
Yeah, no, that would be pretty cool. And that very well may be, they may sell the ships to them. I mean, they haven't said that the ships have been sold to scrap. And when you do sell a ship, the scrapyard is not your only option. Do keep that in mind. The Carnival Celebration was sold to Bahamas Paradise Cruise Line and is now the Grand Celebration, So it's not the only option. Just in the case of these 4 ships, in unfortunate.
Now, Paula Doom asked an interesting question. How did the people get off of the ship after they crashed it in between the other 2?
So it's very interesting the way that the
lifeboat.
No. So the ship comes up on the beach, but where the gangway would be is obviously still in the water. The only thing out of the water is the very front of the ship. So they have
they're smashed now between the other 2.
Hang on.
They have a crane. They have a crane with a cage, like an elevator cage, and it lifts up onto the very front of the ship, and then the captain and the officers get into that 1 or 2 at a time, and then it cranes them down to the beach. That's how they have to get off the ship.
How did they get out of the bridge to the front? Because they're not smushed.
Well, no, there's doors. There's doors into the ship to get out of the bridge.
Okay,
the middle of the.
I'm thinking like on the sides right there. Would have been where the doors would have been.
No, the doors are not on the side. No, the doors are more in the middle. Yeah, the doors are more in the middle of the ship. We just had another $50 PayPal come in from Gary Krebs. Thank you so much, Gary. Guys, Gary is on the leaderboard on Streamlabs right now. I do believe. Somebody will have to go over and check it, but I think he's up on the leaderboard. He says, great show. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Guys, what a more perfect way to end the show tonight. One more time, if you dig tonight's show, make sure that you hit that subscribe button, share this video with a friend, and smash that like button. There is over 200 people watching this stream right now. We better have over 200 likes on this video, all right? I want to thank all of our wonderful friends for joining us tonight in the live chat. I want to thank the wonderful, the amazing, the awesome Disney Peter for joining us tonight. And one more time, guys, make sure you pop into his streams this weekend. That's going to be on Saturday and Sunday, Peter?
Yes, I will actually post a link to my channel.
Do it, yes. Peter's going to post a link right now. He's got a blue wrench right beside his name, Extra Magic. He is going to be streaming this Saturday and Sunday.
Everyone's welcome to Orlando. Orlando's open. Come on down.
Orlando's wide open with COVID cases and all. I want to thank Mama and Papa Hocum as well for joining us tonight. Thank you guys so much for being here. And I want to thank all of our moderators, our patrons, our executive producers, and our producers for always being here, always showing some love and support. You guys, the show would not be possible without you. There's one thing left to say. This show's been real. It's been fun. The news hasn't been real fun, but this show has been real fun, and we'll see you next week, Wednesday, on Cruise Talk Live. Bye-bye, everybody. Have a fabulous week.